Learning outcome. At the end of the session, the student shall be able to demonstrate and apply the rules in this section to avoid collision rules in navigating in a narrow channels and navigating in traffic separation scheme. Importance of the topic. The aim of the collision regulations, Colreg, is to establish rules to avoid collision at sea. The International Regulations for Preventing Collisions at Sea 1972 are published by the International Maritime Organization and set out, among other things, the rules of the road, or navigation rules, to be followed by ships and other vessels at sea to prevent collisions between two or more vessels. Rule number 9. Narrow channels. A vessel proceeding along the course of a narrow channel or fairway shall keep as near to the outer lane of channel or fairway which lies on her starboard side as it's safe and predictable. B. A vessel less than 20 meters in length or sailing vessel shall not impede the passageway of a vessel which can safely navigate only with a narrow channel or fairway. Narrow channel are natural or dredge passages adjacent to shallow water, often marked with lateral red and green buoys and range markers.
So rule number 9, the narrow channel. C. A vessel engaged in fishing shall not impede the passage of any vessel navigating within a narrow channel or a fairway. So for example, narrow channel, you should not engage in fishing apparatus or fishing nets because it's hard to put in a narrow channel, especially it is a passage of the vessel and it's dangerous when a fishing apparatus is stuck in the vessel propeller. And next is D. A vessel shall not cross a narrow channel or fairway if such crossing impedes the passage of a vessel which can safely navigate only within such a channel or fairway. The latter vessel may use the sound signal prescribed in Rule 34D, 5 short blast, if in doubt as to the intention of crossing vessel. And next is, in a narrow channel or fairway, when overtaking can take place if the vessel to be overtaking has to take action to permit safe passing. The vessel intending to overtake shall indicate her intention by sounding the appropriate signal prescribed in Rule 34C, 2 prolonged 1 short blast and 2 prolonged 2 short blast. The vessel to be overtaking shall, if in agreement, sound the appropriate signal prescribed in Rule 34C, 1 prolonged 1 short blast, 1 prolonged 1 short blast, and take steps to permit safe passing. So, for example, in overtaking situation in a narrow channel, you should communicate between overtaking and overtaking vessel. And you should have an approval, the way of proper sound signal. And next is E. This rule does not relieve the overtaking vessel of her obligation under Rule 13. If a vessel nearing a bend in a narrow channel or fairway, where other vessel be obscured, by intervening obstruction shall navigate particular caution and shall sound the appropriate signal prescribed in Rule 34E, 1 prolonged blast. So both vessels should aware of this situation so they could use prescribed proper sound signal. And next is G. Any vessel shall, if circumstances of the case admit, avoid anchoring in a narrow channel. So in a narrow channel, we could avoid to engage anchor in a narrow channel because it is a passage of many vessels and it's dangerous to getting hit by any vessel. So that's all of my report. Next reporter, please.
So, good morning, sir. My name is Cadet Francisco Sambal Johan Medora, and today I'll be talking about discussing about the Rule 10 traffic separation schemes. So it states here that this rule applies to traffic separation schemes adopted by the organization and does not relieve any vessel of her obligation under any other rule. So the vessel um, adopted the traffic separation schemes by the organization, and according to this, it does not um, exclude her from any other rules of the previous Colreg, such as proceeding in safe speed and altering course, etc., lights and shapes. So yeah. So next slide is this. A vessel using a traffic separation scheme shall proceed in the appropriate traffic lane in the general direction of the traffic flow for that lane. It also says here, so far as practicable, keep clear of separation line or separation zone. Lastly, normally, joining or leaving at the termination of a lane, but when joining or leaving from either side shall do so at a small angle as possible to the general direction of traffic flow as practicable. So an example of this would be here. It says here that proceed in appropriate traffic lane. So if your vessel is proceeding in this route here on the lower right, this route. So if your vessel is proceeding here, your vessel is not allowed to proceed the other way, because this one here is moving forward and the other one moving forward as well, but in another direction. So your vessel can only pass here, because if your vessel passes here, then there is a huge chance of collision because you are going against the traffic. Just like the roads here in land, your car is only allowed to pass through a certain way and cannot counterflow, because once the car counterflows, then it causes a lot of problems. The same here with the traffic separation scheme. So it also says here, so far as practicable, keep clear of the separation line or separation zone. So assuming that these purple lines here are the separation zones, your vessel is to keep clear or to keep away from those separation lines. So very simple and easy to understand. Then normally, to join or to leave a traffic separation scheme, it says here that do so at a small angle as possible to the general direction of the traffic flow as practicable. So if you are going to leave in this area here where my cursor is, you will not be able to leave by doing a 45-degree or a 90-degree turn right away. No, but as much as possible, do it at a small angle. A small angle would be 20 degrees, 15, 30. So appropriate to the traffic, to the route of the traffic separation zone. So to continue, it states here that a vessel shall, as far as practicable, avoid crossing traffic lanes, but if obliged to do so, shall cross as a heading, as nearly as practicable at right angles to the general direction of the traffic flow. So, as much as possible, once you are already in the traffic separation zone lane, as much as possible, the vessel should not be able to cross lanes. So if the vessel were required to do so, the vessel should do it at a right angle at 45 degrees. So if your vessel were going to cross this lane, then your vessel is required to do so at a 45-degree angle, at the right angle, in order for the situation to be a crossing situation, and to 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 alarm the other ships because of what is going on. So next slide. Next slide. So it says here, a vessel shall not use an inshore traffic zone when she can safely use the appropriate traffic lane within the adjacent traffic separation scheme. However, vessels less than 20 meters in length, such as sailing vessels and vessels engaged in fishing, may use the inshore traffic zone. So for the sake of this, of what the PowerPoint said, let's assume that this part here is the inshore traffic zone. So if your vessel can safely proceed in the traffic separation scheme, then there is no need for your vessel to go to the inshore traffic zone, right? However, the vessels less than 20 meters in length, such as sailing vessels and vessels engaged in fishing, only these vessels can freely go to the inshore traffic zone. So those are the only vessels that are free to move inside the inshore traffic zone. And lastly, it says here that notwithstanding subparagraph D, a vessel may use an inshore traffic zone when en route to or from a port, offshore installation or structure, pilot station, and any other place situated within the traffic separation zone, traffic inshore traffic zone rather, or to avoid immediate danger. So this is telling us that um, if and only if your vessel is coming from a port or is going to a port, then the vessel is free to use the inshore traffic zone. And oh, sorry. Okay, here. And it is also telling us that if there is an offshore installation or structure or a pilot station or any other place situated in the inshore traffic zone and the vessel needs to be there, then the vessel can use the inshore traffic zone. So if there is a pilot station there in the inshore traffic zone, for example, and then the vessel needs a pilot, then the vessel can freely go to the inshore, has the right rather, or can use the inshore traffic zone and request for a pilot. And lastly, it tells us here that to avoid immediate danger. So if the vessel, if she is um, going or there is going to be, it's prominent that a collision or danger is going to happen, then the vessel can avoid immediate danger by going to the inshore traffic zone, then the vessel is free to do so. So thank you for listening, sir. That concludes my part on this report. So thank you.
Next slide is part F is a vessel navigating in areas near the termination of traffic separation scheme shall do also with particular caution. So in part G, a vessel shall so far as practicable avoid anchoring in traffic separation scheme or in areas near its termination. So part H is a vessel shall not use a traffic separation scheme, shall avoid it by as wide a margin as possible. And then next is part I. A vessel engaged in fishing shall not impede the passage of any vessel of a traffic lane. And then for the part J, a vessel of less than 20 meters in length or a sailing vessel shall not impede the safe passage of power-driven vessel following a traffic lane. And then for part K, a vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver when engaged in an operation for the maintenance of safety of navigation in a traffic separation scheme is exempted from complying with this rule to the extent necessary to carry out the operation. And then for part L, a vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver when engaged in an operation for the laying, servicing, or picking up the submarine cable within a traffic separation scheme is exempted from complying with the rule to the extent necessary to carry out the operation. So for the last slide, I'm gonna explain on the what is the TSS, or the separation scheme. So this is the traffic separation scheme. This will be displayed on your ECDIS. So whenever you see an TSS, you can already identify which is the ensure traffic zone, the separation lines, separation lane, the direction of traffic flow, and the termination. So in a TSS, at least one TSS are normally at least one traffic lane in each main direction, turning points, deep water lanes, and separation zones between the main traffic lanes. So most traffic separation scheme includes ensure traffic zones between the traffic lanes and the coast. So that's all for our report. Thank you for watching, and God bless.